Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to do an updated makeup routine, so let's get into it. Okay, starting off with skin, I have been loving, this is actually their highlight, but the Refi Gloss Highlighter in Topaz. I like actually using it as kind of a base. It's really hydrating, which my skin needs in these colder months. So I like doing a little dollop of this into my hand like that, and then going in and just sort of flopping it around, and then we'll rub it in. My skin has been not good lately. I don't know what the heck is the deal with it, because growing up I didn't really have acne, only like a pimple here and there, but now I feel like my skin freaks out and I won't even have changed anything. So if you have some tips, drop them in the comments. But I'm wondering if it makes sense to start doing like facials more regularly, or if I should go to my dermatologist and be like, what the heck is going on? Or what my next steps are. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm like, okay, it's been more than just a couple weeks, it's been like a couple months and things are still not looking good. So what's our next plan? Okay, so here is the Refi Glow Highlighter all over. It gives my skin a nice glow and some nice hydration before I go in with the foundation. And so throughout this video, I have a couple of new products that I'm excited to show you all. And the Sephora sale is happening now while I'm filming this, and I ordered a couple more, so I'll do another makeup routine or maybe put it in a vlog of the products that I got from the Sephora sale. So I'm just gonna go in with my little Milani lip oil. These honestly don't stay very long, but I like putting them on while I'm starting my makeup and then just letting it simmer for a little while I'm doing the rest. Okay, so in my last vlog, I talked about getting a new makeup brush. I was too impatient to wait for the Sephora sale to get one of the Sephora collection brushes. So I went to Target and got this large buffing brush. Look at those bristles, so lovely. And this one is from Sonia Kashuk, which I have had a couple of her brushes and I really like them. Like I mentioned before, the problem with the e.l.f. brushes for me is that the glue ends up coming undone on the actual head of the brush and the part that you hold. So the bristles themselves are really great, but once I wash them, they like go downhill pretty fast, which is too bad. So I'm going in with my House Labs foundation. You guys have for sure seen this before. I like just doing a little dot on each quadrant of my face. Add a little more cheeks because they need some help. And then watch the magic of this brush. I cannot believe how good it is. So I could just start by going and stippling. Yes, I know this foundation is darker than my actual skin tone, but we need all the help we can get. And when I have some self-tanner on, this is close to what my skin tone looks like. And once it's blended out, you can't tell as much of a difference between the skin tones. So just wait. I love the finish of this foundation. It's so good. I've been using this for probably honestly over a year. I have a lighter shade in it that I started using when I originally got it last winter. I guess maybe fall going into winter. And I got this one throughout the summer to kind of match my summer's tone. So I think once I commit to the change of skin tone without any self-tan, or maybe just a little bit to keep it a little more natural for the winter and colder months, I'll maybe do like a pump of each and then blend that and then do that all over my face, so I don't need to go out and buy a new one. I'm really trying to use up, not even necessarily use up, but use the products that I have, even if the shade is a little off. If I can do some sort of mixologist to get it to be the right tone and skin match. So look at the coverage over pieces that I did have that definitely were breakout-ish. And then we'll go in with concealer and stuff too. And I like to let this foundation just sit on my skin and kind of soak in a little bit before I go in with my makeup sponge and sort of seamlessly blend everything together. But I'm gonna go in with concealer now. Which should I use? I'm gonna go in with the Huda Faux Filter. This is my favorite full coverage concealer, and it's honestly it's pretty close to the shade of the foundation, as you can see, but I like the under eye blending in with my skin rather than like a starker, brighter under eye. I feel like that often just accentuates the darkness or redness that's under my eyes, and it just brings too much attention to it rather than doing the opposite with it. It's just more of like a seamless canvas to start. And per usual, I'll have all of the brushes and the products linked below if you're interested in checking them out. So I have done majority of the blending with the little Real Techniques concealer brush, and then whatever is left on the brush, I like going back in and touching up any areas where blemishes are showing through. So I have a couple down here and then on this side too. Like I said, just be patient and wait for the final blending to kind of even everything out so it's more of a seamless start to our look for the complexion. So these are the little sponges that you just get on Amazon, and it's like a 6-pack for under $10. I love them. I don't think you actually need the Beauty Blender brand. I have had them and I noticed just about no difference between, well, I think these are literally better, but also between the Real Techniques and the e.l.f. Sponges are just like any other brand of makeup sponge comparatively to the actual Beauty Blender brand. I mean, I'll give them the credit for starting the whole, you know, kind of invention, but I mean, it's just a sponge, you know. It doesn't need to be anything, crazy. It's a sponge. So I go around and blend everything. My sponge, I would say, is damp. After I get it wet, I dry it and do like a squeeze in a towel. So it still is wet, but not enough to like kind of smear everything around, because that's definitely my least favorite when I feel like I have perfected the coverage piece and I just want everything to kind of mesh together, and then I go in with the sponge and it ends up taking it all off of the parts where I wanted the coverage. So I find when I do the little piece of, and so I find when I do a little squeeze of it in a towel after I get it wet, that seems to counteract that, and it's like the perfect amount of dampness to blend but not take away any coverage. And then I also take what's left on the sponge and go onto my eyelids just to make sure any discoloration is muted there too, for when we go in with eyeshadow. Okay, so we have the nice seamless base ready to go to start adding in our cheek products and then kind of filling in the eyebrows, eyelashes, all of that. So let's get started on that. Next, I'm gonna go in with my favorite eyeshadow to date. I have been going in with the Merit, their new little eyeshadows. So I have been going in with the Merit eyeshadows, and then this one is in Mid-Century. This one is in Mid-Century. And so you can either go in with a brush or your finger. I've been doing both, or if I go in with it, because it's definitely like that kind of where you can definitely use your finger like a pot, but I like using my finger to place the product where I want it, and then I'll go in with an eyeshadow brush to blend it in to kind of seamlessly have it all go. I just love the color of this. I feel like it brings out the hazel and warmer tones in my eyes, especially it's just like a cozy, not totally latte makeup, I would say, but just a nice like warm little splash of color that is nice for the fall. So that's just like it distributed on with my finger, and then I'm gonna go in with an eyeshadow brush and do a little bit of blending. There. And then if I feel like it's gotten over to the sides a little bit, I'm gonna go in back with my foundation brush and just kind of blend that up. Okay, I'm gonna go in and do my brows off camera. I already have a full video dedicated to the brow routine, which I will link it in this part of the video. So go watch that if you wanna watch the brows. Okay, we have the brows on and we're ready to move on with the rest of the complexion. So next I'm gonna go in with my highlighter from Gwen Stefani's brand GXVE. I don't really know how to say it, but it's so pretty. Look at that. I just tested this kind of on a whim at Sephora and I was like in the cart. In the cart immediately. So this is definitely on my Sephora recommendations. So I take it on a Sephora highlighter brush and then just place it on the higher points of my cheeks, and then I like putting a little bit dusted on the brow bone as well. And then sometimes I'll go over my whole eyelid and just sort of set that cream shadow with the highlighter. Same thing on the other side. There, isn't that so cute? A nice little like natural glow. Then for blush, I'm gonna go in with my Milani blushes. You guys know I love these. This is an 03 Berry Moore, and it has a little bit of a sheen in it, but it is a nice kind of like it's named berry undertone, which I like that for the colder months. I like more of the sun-kissed when it's warmer out, and then I go in, but then for the colder months I like a little more berry rosy color, and then I go in with my Sephora blush brush. Okay, so I did the blush. I brought the blush up onto my forehead, which I think treats it almost a little bit like a bronzer. Sometimes I go in with bronzer, sometimes I don't, especially when the blush has this much of a warmer tone. I feel like it kind of does the bronzing for me, which I do like that about those Milani blushes. And so next I'm gonna go in with some setting spray. So I'm using the Milani Make It Last, and this is in the matte finish. So you gotta make sure you shake it and then hold it a little ways. Let that dry a bit, and then we're gonna go in with powder once that dries, and I'm gonna do the Givenchy in 3. I like going in with a fluffier traditional eyeshadow brush and doing that and tapping it for my under eyes, just because the faux filter concealer definitely sets pretty well, and then it doesn't necessarily dry out, but it's definitely not tacky anymore once it sets. And so I find I don't need as much powder because it's not really going to move around on its own anyways. But then for my chin is another area I like to set, just take away the shine, and then kind of a little bit of my forehead. I like going in with one of the Amazon puffs. I'm going to do that. So I'm just taking a little bit that's in here, kind of tapping the brush in, tapping off the excess, and then just taking the shine away very lightly. And then I like adding it to my lashes, actually, just like the dusting of the excess, just because I find it helps my mascara stay a little better, which of course we want that. I hate when it transfers underneath, which it's inevitable. I have honestly never had a mascara that doesn't transfer even a little bit. Even one that is a tubing mascara, there's always like a little something there, which obviously I do not like, but I find it's inevitable, and we're just gonna have to live with it. So, okay, then for the powder puff, I dump her in here a little bit. I don't like taking a bunch on, and then I just tap the excess off on my hand, and I find that distributes the powder better onto the puff anyways than when I dump it in, and then I just lightly press it onto my chin. This powder really is so good. And then I like bringing it up onto kind of the beginning parts of my cheeks just to take away the shine there, but not taking away our highlight. And same with each part of the forehead. brows just so everything stays. Let's move into mascara next. I'm gonna go in with my Shiseido eyelash curler, then the L'Oreal Voluminous Waterproof. Then I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal Lash Paradise after. These are pretty similar, but this one I like using the waterproof just to hold the curl better, and then this one to just kind of finalize everything. So I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal Luminous. I like a good thicker lash rather than lengthening if I had to choose between the two, but of course we love both. But I find that that mascara just does a great job of separating everything and lifting my lashes and keeping the curl from our eyelash curler. All right, I just went in with one coat on each with this Lash Paradise. This one is so good. And then last I'm gonna do lips. I went and put on some earrings, put my hair down. So I'm gonna go in with the NYX Nude Suede Shoes lip liner. And then my Lawless Forget the Filler. This one is in Daisy Pink. And this is the final look. Thank you all for watching this one. If you want to see more makeup videos, make sure to give this one a like and to subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.